Well, that is a win in game 2 of the season for the Philadelphia Phillies. The road to 162-0. 162-0. They're going to do it. The Phillies are going to go perfect on the season. Yes, that is sarcasm. That is not going to happen, but I'm pumped. I am ready. I love this game by the Phillies. Kyle Gibson was simply fantastic today. 7 innings, 10 Ks, and only, under 85 pitches? No walks, no runs. He was simply fantastic. He was perfect. He was dealing. He was getting those strikeouts, the changeup, the slider, the sinker, the fastball, everything out of Kyle Gibson's hand today was just simply fantastic. He was dealing. He was just on the ball. He was good. He was great. He was everything the Phillies needed today because the offense, yes, was a little quiet, even though they do hit 3 bombs in this game. The offense, we all know this offense is going to mash. This lineup is going to kill the ball. And they did that exactly today. They didn't score as many runs as they did yesterday, but they still hit a lot of bombs. And that's, very fun to witness and very fun to watch. But hey, Kyle Gibson had the rest of the team's back. He says, just get on my back and shoulder, boys. I'm going to carry us to a victory. Got a couple of, little worrisome at the end right there with the bullpen, Alvarado and all that stuff. Defense, a little bit right there as well. But Alvarado does his job in the 8th inning. Corey Knebel got a little scary at the start of it, but he settles down. He gets a huge double play in that 9th inning. And then he manages to shut down the door with a huge strikeout for his first save in a Phillies uniform. Love this game, love what this team brings, and I am excited to watch this team literally every single day. It's really fun to watch. I don't think I've been this hyped for Phillies baseball in a long time, and I feel like everyone in the city of Philadelphia can say that because we know the past couple of teams, they were fun to watch. Like they had some, they still had Harper, they still had JT and all that stuff, but they just didn't have the oomph. Like we knew at the end of the day, they didn't have the oomph to get there, even though they went down to, the final series last year before getting eliminated. But now you add all these guys to the lineup. You add the Kyle Schwarbers, you add the Castellanos to that lineup to add with Bryce Harper, JT, Reese Hoskins, all those other guys. You bring up Bryson, Stott, you add to the bullpen. You bring in an experienced guy like Knebel. You bring in the Brad Hand and all that for the bullpen to bolster it a little bit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. So before we get into everything here, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend you hitting that subscribe button and also dropping a like on that like button as well. If you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. So if you want to get yourself some Phillies home games, definitely. Hey, if you want to go to the Phillies on the road, you can use that too. It'd be a great offer. It's a great chance. Go see the lineup mash. And if you want to get yourself some Sixers playoff tickets, can't pass that up. So yeah, the free $20 in your pocket. Use that for parking. Use that for concessions or anything at the arena or the stadium. Can't pass that up. $20 in your pocket. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Phillies beat the Oakland Athletics in game 2 of this 3-game set by a score of 4-2. And like I said, Kyle Gibson was just simply fantastic in this game. His stat line today, 7 innings strong, only 2 hits allowed, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 10 strikeouts. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He only allowed early hits in the game, and then basically he was just retiring, batters left and right. Like I said, that sinker was working, that changeup was working, the slider was working, and he was getting the ground ball outs too, getting some double plays in there as well. And the defense helped him out a lot too as well. I wouldn't say they helped him. They just he put the ball, the perfect spots, and he managed, Gene Segura made a nice play at second base to get an out there. But simply, Kyle Gibson was just great today. He was just fantastic on the mound. You couldn't ask any more out of a Kyle Gibson right there. So yeah, great start out of him and only 85 pitches as well. So yeah, he was dealing today, especially dealing. He was getting ahead in the count early. He was being aggressive. He was getting those ground ball outs, and he wasn't really getting into any full counts. He didn't walk any guy, and he was just really good out there today. So that's very nice to see from Kyle Gibson. Looking at the lineup today, you get Kyle Schwarber. He goes over 2 in this ball game. He gets a couple of walks. JT Realmuto struggled this day at the plate. He went over for Bryce Harper he got hit by a pitch. So I guess that doesn't count as a walk according to the stat sheet. He went over 3 with a run scored. Nick Castellanos with a bomb in this game in the first inning. Hits his first bomb in a Phillies uniform. He goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Rhys Hoskins goes 2 for 3. His bat has been ever electric to start this season. Jean Segura goes 2 for 4. Didi goes 0 for 2. Alec Bohm in the lineup today for Bryson, Stott. So Joe Girardi letting Alec Bohm get a little bit of reps in here for today. Alec Bohm did well. He got picked off at first. I'm not like, yes, he can't get picked off at first, especially if you're 6'5" later on in that ball game. But he goes 2 for 2. He gets a double, he gets a single, and he also works out a walk. I would say that's a brilliant day right there for Alec Bohm, and hopefully he could just find a way to build off of this confidence. I'm still high on his upside. I know a lot of people are being very critical about him, but it'll be very nice if he can try to prove those people wrong that are being very critical about him. Camargo eventually does come in for the defensive replacement. He doesn't get an at bat, but I understand why Joe Girardi's doing it in that standpoint, especially this early in the season when you have to deal with the Braves, when you have to deal with the Mets for how good those teams are. It's, good to get ahead early rather than late. And, they're proving that they're not taking anything for granted. They want to, win these games. And I like that approach from Joe Girardi, even though some people are not going to, like that because, you definitely have the Joe Girardi criticizers, but I'm perfectly fine with that move out of Joe Girardi. Alec Bohm, he's not the best defensively, and especially later in the ball game, you don't want to run into any of those risks, especially in the infield. Matt Vierling also in this game, he's still putting good wood on the ball. He just can't find a way to put it in the field the right spot because it feels like every time he gets the hit, it goes right to an outfielder or right to an infielder. So he's getting good wood. It's just not going the way that it probably he would want it to. So I think Matt Vierling will be fine eventually. So going into basically the outskirts of this game, or the scoring wise of this game. I don't even know what the hell I just said before that. It's not even a word probably. But, get that bottom of the first inning. Cole Irving on the mound for the Athletics, former Philly right there. And he struggled a little bit early, but he managed to settle in, I guess, midway through the game. And then the Phillies got to him later in the ball game as well. So, yeah, he dealt a little bit. It was a little bit of a pitching duel, I guess you could say, right here between Kyle Gibson and Cole Irving. So we go to that first inning. He retires the first 2 batters, but then Bryce Harper gets hit in the elbow by a pitch, so he goes to first base. And then Nick Castellanos directly on the first pitch he sees from Irvin right down the middle, and he just swats it in the deep center field, and it goes into the stands. First home run for Nick Castellanos in a Phillies uniform. And all the Nick Castellanos memes happen at that second. Whenever Nick Castellanos does something, a meme is going to happen as there's a deep fly ball into left field, and that'll make it a 4-0 ball game for Nick Castellanos. The glorious Nick Castellanos jokes, those are always going to be hilarious. So he makes it 2-0. You get Kyle Gibson dealing. Cole Irving actually starts a deal, even though the Phillies do get a couple of guys on base throughout the innings. You see Alec Bohm get on base with a double and the single. You see Kyle Schwarber get on base. The Phillies leave them stranded. Bryce Harper did connect for a couple of deep fly balls, but they just weren't able to go anywhere. They just died in the outfield. One, he almost had a bomb to center field. It just died at the warning track. And then he had a hard hit ball line drive to left field. It just went right to the fielder. It basically just reminded me, like, if you guys play like MLB The Show or something like that, and you get a very nice hard hit and it just goes right to the outfielder. It's one of those situations, like what I was talking about for Matt Vierling. It was one of those situations, very like nice hard drive ball. It goes right to the outfielder. So it was just one of those, I guess, unlucky circumstances, but Bryce Harper will eventually get his going. He's too good to not, go off on a little slump to start the season. And I'm not really going to complain. It's only 2 games into the season. Bryce Harper's eventually, going to, have his game. So yeah, not really going to complain about that much about it. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rhys Hoskins. So after, this whole situation, Rhys Hoskins in the top of the 6th inning, he turns a double play of his own when, they get a little runner on base right there, gets the, 3-6-3 double play. Then what Rhys Hoskins does in the bottom of the 6th inning, mashes a ball to left field. It looks like he just reached out for it, like one-handed it a little bit. I don't even think he one-handed it. Like he just reached out to the farthest spot of the outside of the plate, and he just golfed it basically to the left field, and it barely goes over the wall. But hey, 3-0 ball game for the Phillies as Rhys Hoskins continues his hot stretch, and it's his first bomb of the season. And then the very next batter, Jean Segura, he just crushes it. goes out of the ballpark, makes it a 4-0 game, back-to-back home runs right there for Gene Segura and Rhys Hoskins. So, like I said, it makes it a 4-0 Phillies ball game. Kyle Gibson, once again, he starts the deal going into the 7th inning, which would be his last. And then you go into the bullpen for the top of the 8th, Jose Alvarado. He allows, a single right there. And then you get, a little situation with Bryce Harper, because it looks like in that situation where the fly ball was going to the warning track, I guess he was like in that spot where he just didn't want to crash into the wall because he's trying to pay attention to the fly ball that's coming right at him. And he makes the mistake and he drops the ball. It could have been caught. He just misjudged it and he didn't want to crash into the wall. So that allows a double in that standpoint. And then Stephen Piscotty manages to drive home the first run for the Athletics, making it a 4-1 ball game in that standpoint. But then Jose Alvarado manages to get out of that situation, and he only, minimizes the damage basically. Then you go into the top of the 9th inning. Here comes Corey Knebel, and the situation from this, 9th inning, it was a little bit, worrisome. He walks the first batter, Kemp, and then he allows a single because even during the Jed Lowry at bat, there was a misplay by JT Realmuto. The ball went off of his glove, went to the back wall. Then he tried to throw out Kemp at second, and the ball went over Didi's head, and Kemp was able to go to third base. And then the very next couple of pitches, Lowry singles to left field, and then Kemp scores. So you get basically a 2-run game. Well, yeah, 2-run game with Murphy coming up the bat with no outs. But then huge double play. Murphy grounds into it, becomes 2 outs now with no runners on base in a 4-2 ball game, and then Corey Knebel strikes out Pinder on fastballs, and basically that is your ball game right there. Corey Knebel gets his first save in a Phillies uniform. Man, just a very fun game. It's like, yes, they're going to have their scary moments, definitely, and it was a little more scary just because the offense didn't put up as much runs, I guess, as you would like, but still, the offense is not going to, go off and score 9 runs every single game, but the offense is always going to be a threat just because of how deep it is. And granted, it's only the 2nd game of the season, so it's really just, it's just really fun to watch. And this Phillies team is going to be very fun to watch basically the entire season with this lineup and how deep it is. When you got Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto in the 2-hole, Bryce Harper doing his thing, Nick Castellanos doing his thing, Rhys Hoskins, and then when you got your guys down there in the bottom part of the lineup, Didi Gregorius, Gene Segura, Bryson Stott, or either, Alec Bohm, and having those guys down in the lineup, they're probably going to see more pitches, and basically they're going to have no pressure on them at all. That's going to be fun to watch them. And then Matt Rearling, the same thing as well. He's going to get pitches to hit, and he's going to find a ways to do, not much pressure on him at all because you got so many guys you got to worry about in that top part of the lineup. It's going to be very fun to watch. We got a Maurice in the chat right here. So what's your guess on 2 home runs, 3 home runs, and 4 home runs this year? And dare I even say 5 homers? Oh boy, man. It's it's going to be interesting. It definitely is. It's going to be very fun to watch. Like what we had 3 home runs in this ball game. Yeah, there's definitely chances that the Phillies could hit maybe like 5 home runs in a game, even more. Seriously, like you got so many guys in the lineup that can mash the ball out of a ballpark. Schwarber, what he did yesterday. You got Nick Castellanos doing his thing. Bryce Harper's eventually going to get his. Rhys Hoskins got his today. JT's eventually going to get a couple. TD's eventually as well. Same thing with Bryson Stott. He's eventually going to get his first major league home run. Alec Bohm, maybe in his time in the lineup, he might get some as well. There's, oh, you mean back-to-back ones? You mean back-to-back? Oh, whew. Yeah, there might be a lot of back-to-backs this year. What I think on the broadcast, they said they had like 4 or 5 back-to-back home runs last season. And they could probably have more. They can definitely have more. But even going back to that first question as well, there could be many times where the Phillies hit multiple home runs in a game. Many. It's going to be very fun to watch. It definitely is. And like you can't give enough credit to, Kyle Gibson out there on the mound. He just basically did everything out there possible. Like even more than you can ask. Like I think the broadcast also even said this is like the 4th time or 5th time in his career that, he got 10 plus strikeouts. So yeah. Great. Just more than you can ask out of Kyle Gibson. More than you can ask. John in the chat, how you doing, John? Could the Phillies, hear me out, hit back to back to back to back? It's possible. It's definitely possible. I'm not going to write that out. I'm not going to. I am definitely not counting that out. There's too many guys in this lineup that can mash. And there's going to be that one game where you might get back to 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 back. And, you know, I did a lot of back to backs right there, but it's possible. It's definitely possible with this Phillies lineup. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun to watch over this stretch, you know, course of the next few games with this team. So if we look at the rest of the Phillies schedule, let me go to MLB.com because they're better with the seeing what pitching matchups the Phillies have over the next course of the next few games. So yeah, to back. Yeah, definitely to back. So we go to tomorrow's game. It is going to be the final game of that series at 105. You're going to have Zack Eflin on the mound, and then you go into the Mets series to start the 3-game set there. You're going to have Ranger Suarez on Monday going up against Taijuan Walker. And then on Tuesday, you're going to have Zach Wheeler, I'm not sure who they're going to be going up against right there for the Mets TBD right now. And the same thing for Wednesday. Right now, it says TBD for the Phillies, but I would assume after Zach Wheeler gets to go, it would most likely be Aaron Nola on that Wednesday against the Mets. So, yeah, going to be a very fun time. And I can't wait for this Mets series to come up because that's just going to be very fun to watch. The rivalry between New York and Philadelphia, especially in baseball, it's just, you can't pass that up. You really can't pass that up. And for tomorrow on the mound for Oakland, it's going to be Dalton Jeffries on the mound. And looking at his stats from last season, he hasn't pitched that much last year. He's really, I guess, like a newer MLB type of guy. His career stats, he's 1-1 with a 5.82 ERA. Last year, he was 1-0 with a 3.60 ERA. And it looked like, he didn't start that many games last year, so he's more of a recent, call-up type of guy. And he's one of those guys, with the A's, with the way they blew up this year, you're going to be seeing a lot of those guys for Oakland this year that are making their major league debut, or guys that just haven't got that much time with the big league club. They're going to be getting some more time since they basically blew up their entire roster. Maurice says, I know we're playing the A's. I look forward to the Mets series and how the team matches up. Yeah, definitely. That is going to be a very fun series, and especially these just division games as well with the Braves and the Mets, just to see how this Phillies lineup can, go after those type of pitching. With, guys like Scherzer on the mound. I know DeGrom's not on the mound for the Mets right now. He's sidelined for a month. That could be definitely a benefit for the Phillies because they see the Mets a lot in these first 2 months. I think they see them 4 or 5 times in the first 2 months of the season in April and May. So not having DeGrom for at least half of those, that's going to be very beneficial. And really, they don't have to worry about Scherzer. I know they still have a deep starting rotation with Bassett, Taijuan Walker, and all that stuff, but only having to face worry about Scherzer as the main guy and not DeGrom for majority of those series, that's going to be a major help. And the same thing with the Braves too, with their deep lineup and their deep pitching staff in the bullpen as well. It's going to be very fun. We're going to see how this defense matches up, how our pitching matches up as well. It's going to be very interesting to see, and I can't wait for every of it, because it's going to be a very fun season, a very long and a very fun season. There's going to be ups and downs, definitely. That's just the course of 162, but it's going to be very fun. It's going to be a very fun time, and the season continues tomorrow with the final game of this series against the Phillies and the Athletics. Going to be a very fun one. Can't wait to see Zack Eflin on the mound, and can't wait to see what this lineup does tomorrow against, Jeffries. So let's see. Let's wait. Can't wait for it, everyone. So what are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on everything right there? Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section down below. I like to read those as always. Don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. And also don't forget to check out the Paint and Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers, Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button and also drop a like on the like button as well. And use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK, and I will see you next time.